installed. Now it tells us that the public key for the RPM is not installed. We've yet to import it, and that is true. Let's grep IGFTP from the query list, and there it shows that it's failed because we don't have the public key. But this we can override. However, it makes sense to import the GPG key so that packages can be confirmed. Let's show you where that key is. Instead of i386 server, let's navigate a level up, and in here you'll find the RPM GPG key. This should be imported to the local system so that packages can be confirmed. And here it is for the release of the software, so let's copy link location and import the key using the RPM command, followed by the import option, followed by the path to the key. To import it, we'll echo the exit status, then RPM query all GPG pub key, and this returns the public key. So with that said, let's attempt to reinstall the package. Let's just copy, prior to doing so, the fact that we imported the public key, the GPG key. So install packages, and we should just note, requires Redhat GPG key for RPMs. So to import that, we execute RPM import from our server. Now let's try yum install GFTP again from the shell. And there's also an optional way to indicate yes to all prompts, and that's to indicate -y and as an option. And it'll just supply the Y option so that we're not prompted. This will go ahead and install GFTP. It reads the metadata from the repository, downloads it, and momentarily you'll see the traditional hash marks. And this tells us that it's complete. Let's echo the exit status. Then let's RPM query all, or just query GFTP directly, and there it is, it's installed. Now how about package removal using yum? Yum, yes to all, remove, and the package name, in this case GFTP, will remove it. And then we'll confirm momentarily using RPM to query the database. So yum is a front end to RPM, which works with repositories. And we'll just go through our history. It's no longer installed. How about installing multiple packages simultaneously, such as GFTP, DHCP? Let's query for DHCP using RPM. We'll query all, grep DHCP, just to be sure we don't have the server installed. And this searches the 929 packages before producing output. And it has the v6 client. So let's go ahead and yum install with the Y option GFTP DHCP, and this will take the two packages from the command line, read the metadata, and then attempt to set up both packages. It knows the sizes of each, and it's installed both. RPM query all, or RPM query directly, since we know the name, returns DHCP and GFTP. So to install multiple packages, it's straightforward. Install GFTP DHCP installs two packages. And you can remove one or more packages similarly. Now there are many yum options. Just execute yum help, and you'll see that in addition to install or remove, there are many other things you can do. A local update, local install, shell, what provides, search to help you search for programs, check update, which will check to see if there are any updates to existing packages, and so on. Now we've covered the local system. How about the remote 5.1 system, Linux CBT Serve 4? How about setting up its yum repository? Well, SSH is root over to 192.168.75.199, so that this system can also take advantage of the repository. We'll nano yum.conf, and then set up a repository as 0001. Can be any name you'd like as long as it's unique. The name will be Linux CBT SUSE1. You need to name it because you can enable or disable repositories from the command line. And the base URL is equal to the following. Now let's try to, on this system, after having queried GFTP as well as DHCP, install both packages using yum. So we'll yum install with the yes option, DHCP as well as GFTP. This will set up the repository from the HTTP server, which happens to be SUSE. And again, it says the public key hasn't been imported. Again, it's important that you do so that the packages can be confirmed. So let's import it into the remote systems database, into its RPM database, echo the exit status, and then attempt to set up using yum the two packages DHCP and GFTP. There they are. The hash marks look successful, and then we'll RPM query just to be sure. Ditto for GFTP, which GFTP reveals successful. So yum's installed. We can do additional things as mentioned, such as checking for updates, which also means we can populate our repository with items. Our repository is located in the yum directory. This is the repository, and as we get updated RPMs from Redhat or elsewhere on the net, we can place them in this directory, but we need to run create repo to update the XML file, because the yum clients consult the XML files in the repo data directory as opposed to each RPM. So when you make changes to a repository, update it, but generally changes aren't frequent. And this can all be scripted out, of course, such that if you're hosting the yum repository on a Red Hat server, or if you've installed create repo, let's say on a SUSE server, when you pull updates down with your automatic process, you can update the repo data directory by running create repo as one of your steps. So that's a little bit about setting up and using yum in terms of installing and removing packages from the system. Again, to remove the packages, yum remove, and the names of the packages, GFTP, DHCP, will remove the packages from the system, and it will not prompt you because we indicated the Y option.